You know, every single doubles rally has this one crucial moment that decides almost everything that follows. And fascinatingly, it happens before either player has even really started moving. I mean, you might think the booming jump smash is what wins the point, right? But the reality is that the winner was often decided during the first 200 milliseconds of the serve and return. Welcome to our explainer on the invisible battle of the badminton court. Today, we're going inside the hidden science of doubles to understand exactly why elite players don't simply react to a serve, they predict it.
To kick things off, I want you to just ask yourself for a second, how fast do you really think top-tier badminton players react to a serve? When we watch them on TV intercepting a shuttlecock traveling at blistering speeds, literally just inches above the net tape, it creates this total illusion of superhuman speed. It honestly looks like they must have reflexes that completely defy human biology.
Okay, let's dive into this because the truth here is actually kind of shocking. Researchers who study sports biomechanics found that even the top 4 ranked players in the entire world execute their split step with an average reaction time of about 0.25 seconds. Think about that for a second. Believe it or not, that is barely faster than a trained recreational junior player. So if the very best players in the world aren't actually reacting faster than everyone else, what on earth makes them so impossible to score against?
Well, here is our roadmap for today's explainer to figure that out. First, we'll look at the reaction time myth. Second, the loaded spring stance. Third, essential return tactics. Fourth, defeating the flick serve. And fifth, setting the third shot trap.
All right, let's jump straight into section 1, the reaction time myth.
So, the secret weapon for these pros is a phenomenon called neuromuscular pre-activation. Before the server's racket even makes contact with the shuttle, an elite receiver's leg muscles are already partially loaded. They aren't waiting around for a visual signal to tell their brain to start moving. They're already primed to explode into motion. They just cut out the mental processing delay entirely. In short, they aren't reacting faster, they are predicting the shot and starting way earlier.
And this brilliantly illustrates the exact difference in how players process the game. Novices and recreational players literally wait to clearly see the shuttle crossing the net before their brain even begins deciding what to do. But professionals, they're reading cues. They are looking at the server's shoulder position, the rotation of their trunk, the racket angle, and even super subtle changes in their grip. Basically, they stop watching the shuttle and start watching the player to feed that predictive mode. It's exactly why the best advice you'll hear is to stop watching the bird and start watching the body.
Moving right along to section 2, the loaded spring stance.
To actually use that predictive mode, you have to prepare your physical body to be a loaded spring. Step 1, place your non-racket leg forward and carry most of your weight on it. Step 2, flex those knees. You absolutely cannot push off straight legs. You need that dynamic load so you can instantly pounce forward or drive backward. Step 3, hold your racket out in front of you. Your racket has to lead your body so you can intercept the shuttle as early as possible. And step 4, keep a slight bend in your arm so you aren't completely rigid.
Now, just as crucial as your legs is how you're actually holding your racket. Professionals almost always return with a neutral bevel grip. Why? Well, the shuttle is flying at you incredibly fast, and the bevel grip lets your wrist manipulate the racket head extremely quickly for a whole variety of shots, on both the forehand and backhand sides. You really want soft hands and a loose grip here, so you can intercept any short serve variation super early without having to do some massive, time-consuming grip change.
Okay, on to section 3, essential return tactics.
You know, it's totally fascinating how 2 completely different aggressive outcomes come from the exact same zone on the court. At the top level, one of the absolute most essential returns is the net shot played straight down the middle to the tee. This brilliant shot reduces the angles your opponent can play and forces them to take the shuttle below the net tape, which almost always guarantees a weak lift. But the perfect complement to this is the poke or push right through the middle corridor. Instead of dropping it, you punch it straight into that awkward gap between the 2 opponents, creating instant confusion over whose shot it is.
The true beauty of pairing these 2 returns together is the deception. Both shots use the exact same initial setup. You drive forward with your racket head level with the tape, using soft hands, looking exactly like you're about to play that delicate middle net shot. But for the poke, at the very last second, you squeeze your fingers tight on the grip. That tiny little squeeze generates a sudden, punchy pace using just your wrist and fingers, which catches the front court player completely off guard.
Which brings us to section 4, defeating the flick serve.
Now, the flick serve is a deliberate tool opponents use to keep your predictive system honest and force you back into a slower, reactive mode. But mentally, you shouldn't fear the flick. The moment you read the deception, instantly transfer your weight from that front leg back to your back leg. Second, use a scissor kick or a super fast chassé jump backwards. And third, even if you feel a little bit rushed, hit the shuttle downwards as early as you possibly can. You want to completely deny that shuttle any extra flight time.
Your shot choice here depends entirely on your balance. If you read the flick well and you're behind the shuttle on balance, go ahead and attack. Hit a smash or an aggressive slice drop. But actually, let's be real. If that flick genuinely caught you way off guard and you're falling backwards out of the court, do not force a weak smash. Just don't do it. In that scenario, a high, deep defensive clear is your absolute last resort. It buys you the vital seconds you need to recover and reset your defensive position.
Finally, Section 5, setting the third shot trap.
So, the crucial point to remember here is this. The return of serve is actually a trap designed to set up the third shot kill. Seriously, you aren't just hitting the shuttle into empty space. If you step in and push the shuttle tight into the backhand corner, you are sending a crystal clear signal to your partner about exactly which area of the court you're covering and where they should be looking to intercept the desperate reply.
Elite doubles pairs do not improvise. They manipulate probabilities. Just look at how this maps out. If you execute that tight middle net shot we talked about, your opponent is literally forced to play a weak lift. Your partner anticipates this and boom, moves in for the smash kill. If you play a fast straight push down the tram line, the server's partner is forced into a reactive drive up the line, and your partner is already waiting right there with a forehand slap. The third shot looks entirely effortless because the first two shots beautifully engineered the entire trap. Next time you step on the court, I want you to remember that you aren't just starting a point. You are actively deciding how much time your opponent gets to think. We can't change human biology, but by reading cues, staying dynamically loaded, and setting traps, we can master those first 0.2 seconds and win the attack before the rally even truly begins. If this science-based look at doubles changed how you think about your game, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, and definitely let us know in the comments. Do you prefer the tight net shot or the aggressive push through the middle? Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer, and we'll see you on the court.